Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I am your host, Mike Luke, joined by the great William Brad Allis. William Brad Allis, a long-suffering Kansas City Chiefs fan. It must be difficult, William. How is William Brad Allis doing today?
First 47 years were rocky, and the last 4 or 5, 6 have been spoiled. I'm spoiled right now. Because I'm still looking at free agency, figuring out what wide receiver we're going to sign, trying to figure out how good Rashee Rice's attorneys are. But otherwise, yeah, super busy. For those of you who follow me on social media, probably know I am now president of Flowing Wells Little League. My son is playing on 3 baseball teams. He only has 5 games this week. My daughter plays volleyball. I coach that. I am down to 1 hockey league after this Sunday. So my typical busy, crazy life. But, you only get so many years with your kids.
You only get so many years, and you're going to embrace it. Just like with Arizona basketball, we only get so many years to get to watch Arizona basketball. Let's talk about Trey Townsend. Trey Townsend is is visiting the University of Arizona. There are many naysayers that do not want Trey Townsend. They point to his field goal percentage, or they say that he's not a three-point shooter. I want Trey Townsend. He can get baskets. And I also believe that Trey Townsend will be much more effective in a Tommy Lloyd type offense, William Brad Allis.
If you were looking for your Caleb Love for this year, your guy to step in and provide a scoring punch, then no, Trey Townsend's not that guy. But he's your Keshad Johnson. So I don't get the naysayers, because this offense is going to go through the wings, whether Love is back or not. And he left the door open today for anyone who missed that. I know, Mike, you saw that because I think I saw your retweet.
Oh, I got very excited about Caleb Love coming back. We like Caleb Love.
Yeah, but Trey Townsend's a guy you need to be an active defender and active on the glass. He's a guy who, what few three-pointers he did shoot last year, I think he was 8 for 15, which means his stroke can't be that bad, or he got very, very lucky. I'm there for it. Now, is he maybe the number one guy of the bouncy power forwards out there? Maybe not, but I don't get the naysayers. He's good. He'll fill that role. I think we've learned one thing about Tommy Lloyd is they develop, and his staff, they develop talent. They bring the most out of it, I think, for the most part. Keshad Johnson was a better player last year than he was as a junior. That's all you have to look at. They got the most, I think, that you could get out of Caleb Love.
And he became a three-point shooter, Keshad Johnson. He shot almost 40%. I don't understand why people don't think that he can't become a three-point shooter like Keshad Johnson, who was able to space the court.
Yeah, again, if you're counting on Trey Townsend to be option 1 or 2, then no, he's probably not good enough. But as option 4 or 5 on your starting lineup, again, the Keshad Johnson role, an energy guy. He was a guy, his numbers were, what were they, 14 and 8 or something like that, 15 and 8. So it's not like maybe his percentages weren't great, but they weren't awful. And he put up
31 and 12 on North Carolina State. He had 17 and 11 on Kentucky. I am fine with that. Now, a lot of people saying, well, he's only 6'6". It's college.
Again, how tall was Keshad Johnson? 6'7"?
6'7". I mean, so again, I don't want to. I think we're kind of, and again, you guys are all much smarter than me. So again, take this for what it's worth. But this to me is a solution in search of a problem. Also, you're not going to find a perfect player in the portal. As Doug Gottlieb always says, pros aren't in the portal. They're just generally not in the portal. So you're going to get a flawed player.
That's the point. If you're 6'9", mobile, bouncy, small forward with a three-point shot, you're in the NBA. You're in the NBA. Or you've got something really, really wrong. You've got a police investigation back home. You've got a problem with your visa. Again, he fits what they're looking for. Yeah, would I like him to be 6'8", 6'7"? Yeah, 6'6" will do it. You can look back. Arizona has won a national title with an undersized 4. They have gone to Final Fours with an undersized 4.
I mean, Tom Tolbert and Michael Wright were 6'7". People would be going crazy now with that.
Yeah, Bennett Davis.
Plus, they couldn't space the court.
No. So, yeah, it's fine. Again, if you were counting on him to be the final piece to put you over the top, like you kind of were with Caleb Love, what they were trying to do with Nembhard, then no, he may not be good enough. As the starting 4 on a team that is loaded with wing talent, I'll take it.
I think we are going to know here pretty much in the next, I would imagine we'll know in the next week or so. He's got a couple more visits. Arizona's doing well. Again, things can change. Things are fluid. Do not shoot the messenger. But I do like, I like Trey Townsend a lot. Another guy, Dylan Mitchell, just entered the transfer portal from Texas. Sign me up for 8 of him if he actually wanted to come to Arizona. Was a ex highly rated guy from Texas, 9-4 or 9-7. I would take him as well. Brad, I didn't put him in the notes. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't watch a ton of Texas this year, but I'm going to guess he's an athletic springy 4, since that seems to be what Texas has had since they invented athletic springy 4s.
Right. Oh, look at Jervis Williams, the great Jervis Williams. Jervis Williams. This is very good. Oh, gosh, I am on another website while listening. I almost entered my credit card info into this chat. Jervis, those are for super snaps. You could send us a super snap if you wanted to put your credit card in here. Just don't put it in the friendly little, Brad Rich. There you go. So
yeah, but don't, as good as the people are to that column in the comments, you still probably don't want your credit card information public like that. Because we do have ASU fans who come in here and they're unsavory.
We do. By the way, it is very funny. I do enjoy reading the ASU practice reports where it seems like every single player is dropping during their camps. That is funny. They are dropping like flies. Okay, now don't worry, we will be getting to step toe. We'll be getting to a lot of football. Do not worry. And we're going to talk some Arizona women's basketball with the great Erica Day, who is going to be hopping in here. But first, Brad, I need you to be really honest with me about something.
Yes.
When was the last time you went to Circle K?
Mike, it's been a while. It was Saturday.
All right. I went to Circle K yesterday. Grant Oracle Circle K.
Normally, Tyler did not have a Little League game. He only had a junior high game, and at junior high games, they've got the beverages in the dugouts with them. I didn't need to stop for the Gatorade.
Listen, Tyler's a growing boy. You should still go get him some more Circle K at some place.
Well, today he has a game, and I have to go from one practice to a game. Guess where we're stopping for the Pure.
You're back in the K.
Bar. Yeah, we're going to the K. It's right there, right next to Curtis Park.
Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Also, Tyler hit the genetic lottery. He is he's a very big kid, very imposing. Now, do you think he's also, when he's of age, do you think he'll be able to win the Arizona lottery as well? Will he hit that lottery?
Well, if he hits the genetic lottery as well as I hope and gets that scholarship to play some sport somewhere, then I'm hoping, he still chips in and buys mom and dad some lottery tickets. Yeah.
All right. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes like Tyler Alice and William Brad Alice. It's about giving back to the state and the community. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. All right, Caleb Love, he has entered not entered the transfer portal. He is going to get feedback from the NBA. I think right now that he is probably going to come back to the U of A. Again, fluid. Do not shoot the messenger. That is my disclaimer. Brad, I very, very, very much like a perimeter of your guy, Jaden Bradley. Again, Brad Alice, every time you come on here, you need to throw down the gauntlet. You need to throw down the fork and say, listen, because you were the only person that I know that said you would have started Jaden Bradley. You get all the kudos in the world for that. Jaden Bradley, Caleb Love, KJ Lewis, Joson Sanon, first guard off the bench. Yes, please sign me up for 2, to quote Harry Dunn and Lloyd Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, and you still have the, some other talented guys on the bench. And that just shows you the depth Arizona could potentially have. Because I think in another scenario, Martinez is a guy who can get you 10 minutes. Quality minutes.
You want to start? Are you in on the Conrad Martinez wagon?
As a spot minute guy who can get you some quality minutes without hurting you, yes. As a guy I want playing crunch time minutes, no. But if Bradley's your pure point guard and he's your only pure point guard on the thing, you throw Martinez out there for 5 minutes, just getting the ball to those other guards. I'm fine with that. But that being said, if Caleb Love comes back, he becomes your backup point guard.
Right.
The ball dominant backup point guard, but I'm fine with that for 10-minute stretches, 5-minute stretches. So yeah, I think that's again, my only concern is, does Love coming in scare off one of your 2 young guards? And I think that is a possibility. But again, if Tommy Lloyd has been upfront and honest with these guys, told them what their role is with and without Love, I can certainly see it working, because last year I didn't think there were enough minutes for KJ Lewis, and
Right.
he played quite a few minutes. So I also thought we'd see Keshad Johnson at the 3 a little bit, and we did not ever. So yeah, I think there's ways to balance it out. But if Caleb wants to come back and will play the same or similar role he played this year, maybe even a little more unselfish than certainly coming back. If he thinks he's going to shoot his way into the NBA with 25 shots a game, then
here's where I'm at with Caleb Love. He's not going to play in the NBA. Why not come back to college, get $400K, live a really cool life for another year, then go overseas? And I changed everything. I don't understand. Also, Zona Germany, the great Zona Germany. I say this with utmost respect. It's always assuming Europeans suck until proven otherwise is so 30 years ago. No, this is not what we were saying. What I'm saying is this, is that at Arizona, so far, Tommy Lloyd has a big strikeout record with Europeans. I mean, it just is what it is. Adama Ball, sure, he turned out to be good, but he did it somewhere else. Who else? Obviously, Philly B was never going to play here. Moralskis, who I like, by the way, but I think he'll be he's going to be doing something else. Henry hasn't done anything so far. Mount Crevis, your guy, another guy that William Brad Allis was right about. So again, it is fair to say with a European coming over here that, wait and see approach, Brad Allis.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the two international guys he really hit on, and I think Crevis is a hit. Because Crevis actually had a bigger role last year than a lot of people thought. Not me, because I loved him, but Ballo was a hit. But he knew Ballo. And taking Pelle Larsson, because I didn't get that one when he took him from Utah, and that was obviously exceeded expectations. So those two, but yeah, you look at the other guys. Now they've been more misses than hits. Now, I will say this. I don't think it's that much more drastic than recruiting 3 and 4 stars.
I agree. I'm totally cool with you. I'm totally cool with internationals. I'm just saying, like with somebody like Henry, where they had him rated as like the 34th best player in the country. If Henry was over here playing high school basketball, he would not have been ranked that high.
No, but you look at Miller's track record with guys who transferred out and got and found roles. I think, we've already seen that with Adama Ball. I think we're going to see that with Moralskis, who I think will go, to a mid-major type school, and he'll probably be very successful.
Are you in on Philly B at the Philly B taking over college basketball somewhere else?
Is he going in AI?
Oh, Brad, that was a cheap shot. That was a cheap
do I think he
shot,
can be a
Brad Allis?
No, you said take over. He's wherever. Let's assume he goes mid-major or low major. Can he be a starter on one of those teams? Absolutely. Is he going to be a conference player of the year candidate at, a San Francisco, a Tarleton State? No, he's not. But can he be a guy who averages 9? Sure.
All right.
I think he has a skill set. I still thought, if not recruited over, he could have been a limited role player at Arizona. Because I think he's a good enough shooter. I think he has some length, but he's not super athletic. But if he goes low major, he can be a good player.
All right, we root for him. Go to GCU, Philly B. Go to GCU. You can hang out with Duke Brennan. All right, now.
I would get Duke Brennan here as a backup big man if they lose.
Man, everybody has dissed me about Duke Brennan for the longest time, but Duke Brennan can play basketball. Duke Brennan I would be totally okay with Duke Brennan playing 8 to 10 minutes a game.
If Henry ended up leaving, and I don't know what the plan is with Henry, because right now it's him and Emmanuel Stephen, right, as the backup bigs.
Right.
But if you said Duke Brennan's coming in to play 15 minutes behind Mount Crevis, sign me up. You can hang out with Uncle Brent and Uncle Brad, and it'll work.
Uncle Brad Allis. Okay.
I meant Brad Brennan, but
Brad Allis.
I'll be his uncle too. Yeah, if he wants to come hang out.
All right, now Joson Saint-On. I believe Joson Saint-On is coming here regardless, because here's where you're at with college basketball. You can play. There's basically 4 guys that can get a ton of minutes. I like Jamari Phillips a lot, but I do think that Jamari Phillips is probably a guy that more emerges in that second year. With these 4 guys with Obviously, with Jane Bradley, Caleb Love, if he were to return, KJ Lewis and Josan Sanon, there's a lot to like there. And more importantly, Brad Alice, there are NBA players as well.
Well, you also forget there's going to be a lot of times 3 of the 4 guys are going to be on the court at the same time.
Right.
I don't know what the plan is for Carter Bryant, whether they look at him as a 4 or a 3, whether they look to, and I could see, again, talking Trey Townsend, can you plop those 2 guys both out there and kind of have them be interchangeable forwards? Maybe. But there's going to be a lot of times Sanon or Lewis or Love is going to be your de facto 3. So yeah, and again, when you play an up-tempo style with more possessions, it's in essence giving guys more minutes on the offensive end than you would at a slowdown system. So there's plenty. And Sanon could be the 6th man off the bench. He could average 11, 12 points a game and still be an
Brad,
NBA
I got a
player.
comparison for you that I stole from the Wildcat Authority message boards, Arizona Net. You get full credit for this one. Watch a little bit. By the way, Erica, hop in at about 11:05 if you can. But Josan Sanon, Michael Dickerson.
Is he that big?
He's about 6'5", 6'6". Yeah, legit.
Okay. Because Dickerson
watch it when you get a little bit of a chance.
I will. Because I've only watched him briefly. I thought he was closer to that, 6'4" inch. Dickerson, and Dickerson was what, a legit 6'6", 6'7", and I also remember junior and senior Dickerson, who was pretty rocked up. But yeah, I could see that from a skill set. People forget how explosive Michael Dickerson was, how smooth Michael
Dickerson was born to play basketball.
And I still do. I ran into him about a year ago at a gas station.
I refereed his basketball game about a year ago.
Yeah, and guy would have been a 15-year NBA guy had he not had that weird, bizarre injury.
All right. Yes. Everybody out, just so you know, we are Monday through Friday, 10:30s. And I will, I never take days off, even when I get sick. This is true because I do not want to miss talking about this. All right. We are going to talk now some Arizona football. All right. Every now and then in this industry, you get a few people that, will know something, will tell you a little bit of something every now and then. Jedd Fisch has been telling people that he believes that he can get T-Mac to Washington. That is not going to happen, in my opinion. I do not see any way that happens, especially after that video was released yesterday, William Brad Alice.
Oh, I didn't hear about the video.
Oh, there was a video with Noah Fifita and T-Mac. It was very good.
Have you? I think I could reveal this.
Do it.
We all love Jedd Fisch now, right? Jedd Fisch is calling Arizona players currently.
Yes.
He did it while one of the players was in a meeting with the coaching staff.
Correct.
And he put him on speakerphone. And apparently they said hello to Jedd, the coaching staff. So there's no scruple. Again, it's one thing to reach out and be like, I'm going to call, Noah's high school coach and see but to call the kid, and the fact that there's no tampering anymore, it's just unsavory. And, I'm hearing a lot of good things about the new staff, and they're not for everyone. And, that's one reason our beloved Big Bill Norton's not here. It just wasn't for everyone.
Such a bummer, dude. This was such a bad offseason for me, man.
I know. When did they happen in 48 hours? You losing your 2 favorite players?
I lost here within about
Dylan and Big Bill.
I lost Dylan, BBN, and Philly B mixed in there as well.
So, but yeah, so if Noah Fifita T-Mac were to leave, he's not going to Washington.
You knew too that this was a thing when Dud tweeted that out. You saw Dud's tweet, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tom Duddleston, the long-time SID at the University of Arizona, is not putting that out unless he is 1,000% sure about what is going on. And Javier Morales put that out as well. So again, take it for what it's worth. Steptoe leaving, that one to me surprised me a little bit, but at the same time, whatever. He was. Did
he really have a role here?
He doesn't really have a real role.
I really like Cedric, and he was on the Marana coaching staff when I was still covering Marana High School. Good dude. Apparently his son's a pretty good player. But my guess is he has visions of a bigger role than that little behind the scenes role he had. And if you can't get a bigger role with the new staff, you go where they can pay you a little bit more money or want to pay you a little bit more money.
All right. One thing I am very excited about. This is called a tease. We are going to get to in a second. But first, the BetMGM Sportsbook app, my friends. The BetMGM Sportsbook app. Sign up for BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app for at least $10. You'll receive $1,500 in bonus bets if the bet loses. Check out the show notes for details. William Brad Alice, do you have any good bets that you would like to let people in on?
No, because we're now in the time of year I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know.
I as much as I play hockey, I don't follow the NHL. I'll start watching the NHL playoffs because they're dramatic, but I don't have no idea. I don't know who's in. I watch some baseball, but I would never bet on baseball, and the NBA.
Yeah. No, I get it. We're not here.
Can you really put money on OKC?
Yeah, I mean, seriously,
Boston?
I agree.
I don't know. So here's what I would do. Start looking at your futures bets for the NFL.
By the way, Brad, guess where I went? The Gila River Resorts and Casinos this past weekend. This is true. I was in there. I saw the Blue Wave. Guess what? They also have a Top Golf in the Gila River Resorts and Casinos off Wild Horse Pass. Did you know this?
Yes, I did.
I did not know this, but again, I walked in there. I felt incredibly cool. I was overwhelmed by the coolness factor of the Gila River Resorts and Casinos, and I wasn't the only one. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for more details. All right, Brad, I'm going to go on record right now and say that I believe that Arizona has as good a running back unit as there is in the Big 12. But we're going to get to the players, but the one I am very, very, very excited to see. I am very excited to see Speedy Luke Pham. This coaching staff clearly embraces Pham, and he's getting a lot of run. You see that they're using him on screen passes. This coaching staff is going to utilize him, and I think the world's about to find out exactly what Pham can do.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a complaint about Jed Fish, offensive play caller, my two big complaints, well, three, I guess, but two big complaints. One, you can't figure out how to get the ball in that kid's hands. And the use of, wide receivers 3 through 5.
Right.
Look, you've got the two older running backs coming in, the two transfers. They're going to get a lot of carries, but get Luke the ball in space. Figure it out. Whether you line him up in the slot, whether you jet sweep him. He actually has shown that with his burst, I think one of his big touchdowns last year was right up the middle.
Where he just made the one dude miss and then he was gone. And he ran everybody.
If that dude is not getting at least 10 to 15 touches a game, I don't get it.
I also don't understand, too, like we had his father on, and it always seems with coaches, and again, I'm not even just bashing Fish on this. It always seems, though, with some coaches, they always seem to have like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, I can't play so-and-so because they fumble. Well, how do you really know that? And you put him in the game, and he's not fumbling. And I always felt that was the case with Pham. I also don't believe for a second that you recruit somebody like Rayshon Speedy Luke with that kind of speed and say, guess what? Our kick return strategy is going to be fair catch every single punt. When you've got a player like that, he's got to touch the ball 10 times per game, period. Don't care how it happens. Got to happen.
Yeah, and if you say, well, he can't, the knock on Kadeem Carey was he didn't understand the pass blocking schemes. So if that's the slam on Luke, then put him in there on second down, and he is the pass play.
But again, I think that was crap too. I think that was Stoops with his Keona Antolin weird thing going on there, because the second that Hankwitz took over, guess who started getting carries all of a sudden? Guess who started putting up numbers? It was Kadeem Carey.
Flowing-Well's Little League coach, Kadeem Carey, by the way.
Carey, exactly.
Yeah, so look, there's ways to avoid, like, whatever they don't do well. So let's say you don't like the fact that Speedy Luke might fumble a punt. Then don't play him inside the 30. Remember when they used to run, I think it was Steptoe. Steptoe was from the 30 to the 40, and Ryan Eidson would line up. So, okay, so you put the surest-handed guy you got inside the 30, but you know what? When they're punting from their own 15, put Luke out there, because, okay, if he fumbles at midfield, it was like giving up a 30-yard pass play. But if he breaks it, he breaks it.
Yes.
Yeah, so
there's nobody else on the roster like him last year.
I don't care if he's the worst guy with a playbook, and I know he's not. He's actually a pretty bright kid.
He's a smart guy, yes, for sure.
But here's what you could do. Jet sweep left, jet sweep right, bubble screen left, bubble screen right. line them up in the slot and run the go. 5 plays.
So we are very much in agreement that Fam needs to have a very big role, and we need to see this, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. Boom. There is our clip. Fam, we are
And again,
out.
does he get the most carries? No, he's not going to get the most carries. The most touches or a comparable. He should get a third of the touches from the running back position, or at least targets. Again, line him up in the slot, line him up wide. Go 2 back and have one of the.
Is it hard?
There's get creative. Dino Babers needs to open up that secret notebook that he's been hiding since the Homer Smith era.
Right. All right. We are in on this.
Homer Smith.
Yeah. By the way, Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt is going to be very, very good. Tony Clifton, I have a very good feel about him. I also like Quali Conley a lot. I actually think that this running backs unit is going to, I don't think it's really going to drop off at all, to be honest with you. I think with the insertion of Fam, and you also got a couple of guys we haven't really even talked about that might redshirt, might have to wait a year with, your Jordan Washington, your Brandon Johnson. But between Quali Conley, Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt, and Fam, I feel pretty good about that troika.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of last year a bit. I mean, that Wiley Williams, who's the guy, Coleman, he's kind of dead to me. But yeah, you have 3 or 4. And again, could Washington find the field? Yes. Could you do some really cool things with his speed and Speedy Luke's speed? Yes. Give it to me. Get the creative. Again, find that secret notebook from the water boy. I want it all.
All right, Brad, does the league need umps?
Yeah. If you want to reach out to me,
at Brad or WSR Brad on Twitter,
or at flowingwellsll@gmail.com. Yes.
Brad, do you ever ref? Do you ever ump?
Yeah, a little bit. I try not to, because as I have so many other things to do around the league. But yeah.
All right. Now, I will say this. This is going to be because obviously the portal opens, well, I think technically for Arizona at 5, if that's the case, whatever the case may be. If Arizona doesn't get rated, I think you've really got to give a lot of kudos to 2 separate entities here. You got to give it to, first of all, to these players, because, I mean, let's be honest here. Tetairoa McMillan could go absolutely anywhere in the country that he wants. He is the best wide receiver in the country. I do not care what anybody says about Luther Burden or Durden or whatever his name is. It is T-Mac. He is the best wide receiver. Obviously, Noah Fifita could go pretty much anywhere as well. These are guys these are frontline players. But also, a lot of these other players could have gone pretty much anywhere as well, whether that's a Jonas Sabanea, whether that's a Takario Davis, fingers crossed. There's a lot of dudes on here that have stayed loyal to the soil.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at, they know they built something special last year. They know they have a chance to build something special this year. Your NIL collective stepped up. Your former hotel magnet, now developing magnet, stepped up in spite. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons. Plus, University of Arizona is a fun place to go to school.
It is. Plus, you get to listen to us every day. Come on.
Yeah, and more importantly, the weather's good to great year round. The girls are beautiful. The parties are fun. The campus is nice. And if you're a football player, you're a little bit more of a somebody than you are at, say, an ASU up the road.
Right.
Because the Cardinals are the big deal up there.
Right.
So there's, again, as long as you have enough good guys around you, there's no reason not to stay.
Brad Rich, I think that if Washington probably gets a couple, but I don't think that they're going to be players that were real difference makers. Again, these situations are fluid. We see Erica Day in the back. Erica, we will be adding you in 2 minutes. You have my word, 2 minutes. Okay, now, with let's see, what else are we getting to here? So I love the running back depth. And honestly, we're going to start talking a lot about the defense tomorrow. Defense to me is going to be fascinating because I very, very much like having Dwayne Aquina. There is a very reassuring presence about having Dwayne Aquina. Plus, he's the coolest old person that is walking the face of the earth, Brad.
He is. I got to, my son went to the camp last year, the Judfish middle school camp, and he was just around. And I'll tell you this, Nansen was also super dynamic, but he was just around, and I'm watching, Tyler out there doing his thing, and he's talking to Hammer behind me, and then he's talking to some parents, and then another former player went up to him. And then one of the dads of one of the new DBs went up to him. And he was, I don't know I forget how old he is. He's
63 or 66. He's one of them.
He seemed younger than me. had more energy than me. And listening to him, he still got it. He still got it because he was still coaching we coached a few times when I was covering the team when I first started covering the team and then in the middle. But there's no way people don't respond to him.
Yes, I think he's going to be. Hey, dare I say this? A leader of men.
Yeah, he's old school without being cranky.
Yeah, he's old school without being a jerk.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Also, no better time to become a PHNX diehard. We got all kinds of good stuff coming on. We've got Arizona basketball, Arizona football, all kinds of cool merchandise stuff. And again, we will also be let's see. Like I said, all kinds of events, the draft party. It's already sold out, so don't worry about it. But again, all kinds of good stuff. Check it out. Become a PHNX diehard. Chubba. Oh, I like this. Chubba May is the Poly BBN. Oh, if we could get a Poly BBN, that would be fantastic. Sign me up for that one. All right, now what's that, William Red Alice? I see something.
I was gonna say, is he instead of BBN, because Big Bill Norton is big. Chubba's
massive.
I think he's MCM. Massive Chubba Mae.
I like that. MCM. It has been coined.
And it sounds like he could vaguely be a Beastie Boy too.
Yes, it's been coined at the 31-10 mark. At William Brad Alice. What was it? MCM? Massive Chubba May?
Massive Chubba May.
I like that.
Is it May or Mae?
Oh,
we'll figure it out. We got time.
Yeah, Chubba has had. All right, now.
Or we just one word him Chubba. He's like Cher.
All right, now. It will never be said. Yesterday, we talked Arizona baseball. Oh, hold on. Yesterday, we talked Arizona baseball. Today, we are going to talk some Arizona women's basketball with the great Erica Leah Day. Hello, Erica.
Hey, squad. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you are back from Country Thunder. This is correct.
This is correct. I am still suffering.
I was going to say all kinds of debauchery going on there.
No.
Oh,
No.
All right, we're going to talk some Arizona women's basketball. Brad, you hop in here as well. But first, Erica knows everything about the Arizona women's basketball team. She talks with the players behind the scene. They all like her. Everybody likes Erica Day. Follow Erica Day on Twitter, by the way.
Do that.
But, yes, do that. But, all right, WNBA draft yesterday. What do we need to know? Tell us now.
First of all, I was pretty shocked that Esmeri Martinez went at 17th pick overall. It's pretty high, actually, only 36 picks total. So I was pretty shocked that she went to the Liberty, but the Liberty is actually a pretty good landing spot for her. They just got rid of their backup big, and so she'll play behind. If she makes the squad, she will yes, Tyler. That's what
a super snap back in the day. I love it. Back in the day, a super snap from the great Tyler McDowell Blanken. Very cool. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But Stephanie Dolson just left the Liberty, so Esmeri Martinez does have a pretty decent chance of making the squad. For those of you who don't know, there's only 144 roster spots in total in the WNBA. So 50% of them will not make rosters.
What about Helena? Talk about Helena.
Helena is going to a really good squad.
Helena Pueo.
She really is. And she's going to a very defensive-minded team, the Connecticut Sun. They play a dirty type of basketball.
Connecticut Sun?
Yes, they are the Connecticut Sun.
Like the Seattle Sun?
No, Seattle Storm is.
Oh no, I was just saying the Sun. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, but the Sun is they are, a lot of their team is older now, so a lot of their team is out at free agency next year. So this is like their last real opportunity to win a title is what they're thinking together. So I think that they're trying to grab some good backup guards to play behind they do play at Mohegan Sun, and they're looking for some good backup guards to play behind Alyssa Thomas, who would be a really good person for Helena to be learning from anyways.
Is this South Carolina transfer good? Give us the tea.
She is good. I have my concerns because she was dismissed from the team in South Carolina in February for conduct detrimental to the team, and I've been unable to gain knowledge regarding what that really meant. But
why do we have you on the show then?
But what I will say is Adia is best friends with Dawn Staley. I don't think that she takes that transfer if the reasoning wasn't good. Like, I don't think that Dawn allows Adia to let her into this program if the reason was she was just this terrible person. I don't think so. So I think that she's going to be a good fit. She is a top rated recruit, which we all know is like, it's a good thing and a bad thing these days because they all want to play and they all want to make money. But if she can be a good fit with our team, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I got a question.
We are
for
at
both
200
of you.
lives just because Erica joined. You're correct, Michael Luke.
I got a question for both of you. William, Brad, Alice, you hop in here as well. Erica Day. Okay. Now, there was a time about 3 or 4 years ago where you look at Dawn Staley, you look at Adia Barnes, and you're like, these are the two budding faces of women's college basketball. Obviously, Dawn Staley has taken over the sport. Arizona has, had a lot of stuff, a lot of roster turnover, some, transfers. How does Erica, does Adia get this back, and can she get it back? Both of you.
Let me jump in. I think Adia's got to figure out roster construction. She has blamed herself in her evaluations. She might, outside observer, need to look inward at why some of those people were leaving. If she has admitted having trouble with the transfer portal, so maybe she needs to do what she did, like Erica just mentioned. Get someone from your friends team who can evaluate personality. Because I know she said a couple of the girls who left this year, personalities weren't right. Why? Because you had a week and a half to evaluate and get them in there. I think if she can figure out the roster construction, she's got a good enough coach and recruiter of international and high school players. And then all she has to do is win basketball games. And it sounds easy. It's not easy. But, the job she did this year, I thought was very good down the stretch. And that's how she gets it back.
Erica?
I think she really did the best with the cards that she was dealt this year. And I think Mr. Ryan Mitchell is correct. The young core seems really good with Jada Brea and Montea Dew. I think there's very few complaints to be had amongst the younger core that she's trying to build off of. And the, common question toward the end of the season was if the younger core was really going to stay. And there's absolutely no reason to believe now at this point on April 16th that they're going to enter the portal. I have no reason to believe that.
Okay, now, should Arizona then, going into the Big 12, should Arizona next year be a top 25 team? What kind of expectations do we have, Erica Day?
I definitely have an expectation of a top 25 team. I think with the recruiting class that she had last year, obviously with injuries and everything, it kind of fell apart, but the Big 12 is going to be the second. El Boom is correct. We can't forget Skylar Jones.
Who's Skylar Jones? Talk to us. Who's Skylar Jones? Fill everyone in.
She is a tall guard out of Chicago, and she was probably the most improved player on the team last year. I think she moved into the starting position after Kaylin Gilbert was, for lack of a better term, dismissed. And she really is a hooper, and she is willing to learn. And she's a sponge that's willing to play Adia Barnes style of basketball, which is something she has struggled, I think, to obtain is young players that are willing to play her style of basketball.
Brad, Erica, here's my question then. I know that we're in the era of the transfer portal. I get all of this. My concern from an outsider perspective, not somebody that Adia Barnes knows personally like Erica Day, which is very true. By the way, you guys are on very good terms now. This is true, Erica Day.
It is true. We're besties now.
That is what we like to hear, Adia and Erica. But here's my question for both of you. I get the transfer portal. We get players that leave all the time. Dylan, Weepy Face, Philly B, I get all of that. The problem, though, that I have, at least from an outsider perspective, that I'm concerned about is the players that Arizona loses are good. Vonleh was really good. Granted, she's back in the portal again. But Maddie Connor all of a sudden became a lights-out scorer at TCU. Paris Clark is good. There's others, I'm sure, that are good as well. That is what concerns me, Brad and Erica. Brad, you hop in here. What do you say?
Did you have that same concern with Sean Miller?
Yeah, but those players weren't good.
Simon, he's an NBA player. How about the kid who went to BYU? There are certain people that are hard to play for.
Simon played in the NBA.
He was drafted. He played a little bit. St. John's kid, right? He played a little bit. Wasn't obviously not. But a cup of coffee in the NBA is still something.
Sure.
Who's the kid who went to Colorado State? He was pretty good for them. Adia is not easy to play for, and neither was Sean Miller. Especially now in the transfer portal era where, you have if you don't have a prior relationship with the kid, you have a week and a half to recruit and evaluate and figure out if they're meant for you. And she has said she did a poor job of that. Now, I think she also has to look inward and figure out, does she have to change some things with her style, with her, how she goes about it. She's also losing assistant coaches at a bigger clip than even Miller did. And Miller was not easy on his assistant coaches. That being said, I think Adia Barnes, I think we know she can coach. She has to find players who fit her style. I think, she needs, in essence, to find some more dynamic scorers who can take over games late, because that always seemed to be, I think, an issue. But to me, that's the concern is not losing good players. To me, it's you still got to keep good ones, and you've got to find the ones who fit your system, because that was always my big complaint with Miller. A lot of times I think Miller did the Alford thing. I'm just going to try and get as many good guys as I get and hope they work. Well, as good of a player as Alonzo Trier was, he wasn't a Miller guy. Miller would have been better off with a bunch of 3- and 4-star grinders. And if that's what Adia needs to do, then great. Or, adapt, look at Lute. Lute changed his style 4 times in 30 years. He went from a big dominant to a 3-guard dominant to wing dominant, and it usually worked. And I think Adia Barnes just needs to adapt. And I think she has that capability, because I think she is too smart of a coach, too good of a coach, and too good of a recruiter not to.
Erica, I told you that she was not going to want to go to smelly, rainy Marquette, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I was right about that. She would not be interested in a job like that. But, serious question. Arizona in the Big 12 next year. What should the fan base be looking for? What is Erica L. Day expecting?
The Big 12 is, first of all, a much more physical league. The officiating in the Pac-12 has been complained about, specifically amongst post players all year. And I've been keeping up really heavily for about 5 years, and post players have been they were done dirty by Pac-12 officiating. So I'm excited that Adia is going to be able to play her more defensive style of basketball and not be punished for that like she has been in the Pac-12. That being said, the competition is great. It's just the same as the Pac-12, where you're playing a good team every weekend. There's never a weekend where you can just turn it off. And with Maddie, I just want to say one thing and defend Adia a little bit regarding Maddie Connor. Just Maddie Connor, though. I think Maddie Connor came here she is a lot more like Kylan Boswell than you guys would probably know. She came here early. She reclassified, for lack of a better term.
Wait a second. So she's a partier?
Yeah. No. Maddie Connor's not a partier. No, but she reclassified so she could come here early. She was on the team when they went to the national title game and didn't play a single minute. And so I think, she kind of felt like, I've been here for 3 years now. I haven't really played that much. It has been a good scorer since the beginning. Yeah, I'm sure she is a great blackjack player. But she's been a good scorer since she was a freshman. Like, nothing about her being the leading scorer for TCU is new. She could have done that at Arizona, but she was playing behind older, better talent, and that had more to their game and fit Adia's style better. I think it was in everyone's best interest that Maddie moved on. I think it sucks because she was a hometown kid, but other than that, it was better for everyone that she left. So, all
right. I
just want to defend my girl Adia a little bit.
Erica L. Day is going to be a very regular contributor as our Arizona women's basketball boots on the ground. But follow her on Twitter. Also, William Brad Alice, when is your next podcast coming out? I know you got a billion things going on still. When is it coming out?
That's a great question. I'm hoping to do some maybe next week. We'll see. Again, I got 5 baseball games, a volleyball game to coach, and I still got a hockey game to play this week. So,
hey, Erica lives in Marana. If you need officials,
I do.
If she wants to head a little south down to Flowing Wells, yeah, we can use some officials. So,
Erica, would you ever officiate a baseball game?
I would love to officiate a baseball game.
How much does that pay, William?
Depends on the level.
I do it for free.
Even better.
How much would I get paid if I reffed at the highest of levels?
You would have to pay them to participate, Mike.
Michael, I know your reputation as a basketball official. If you were certified through District 5, you would make $50 for the upper division teenage games. Uncertified, I can get you enough Circle K money to make it worth your while. We pay more in snack bar trade.
Some inner circle cash, perhaps.
Maybe a little, but and we, and interestingly enough, we have a cool league where 4 of our baseball coaches are women. And all of our softball coaches, except for 1, are men. And we also have several former D1 athletes, including Kadeem Carey and his wife, Missy, who played softball at Delaware.
Missy Rainbow was her name, correct?
Rambo.
That is a great name. That is maybe the best women's name I've ever heard. Missy Rambo.
Yeah. So now, and she coaches 3 of our teams. She's psycho in the best way. And she's also on the board. So yeah, we have a really cool league. It's small and we're growing though. And
all right.
I'm trying to save it.
For the great Erica Day, the community-oriented, venerable William Brad Alice.
That means old.
I am merely Mike Luke. You've been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.